There are protection schemes under Act 4 that being provided by SOCSO, which is Employment Injury Scheme and Invalidity Case. By looking at Fairuz' case, the suitable scheme that can be used by him is Employment Injury Scheme. This is because the scheme protected an employee from any occurrences or diseases connected to work, often known as occupational illnesses, that occurred as a result of and during the course of his employment. Since Fairuz incidents meets one of the things that being covered in this scheme, which is industrial incidents that occur while working, he is entitled to make a claim from SOCSO for two benefits. One of the benefits is medical benefit. Since Encik Fairuz had suffered from employment injuries, he may receive the medical treatment. To claim this, he can make a claim to reimbursement the medical treatment cost at SOCSO office. He will also get the free medical treatment at any SOCSO panel clinic or any government clinic or hospital. The next benefit is he may also claim for the permanent disablement benefit. Since Encik Fairuz had lost his hand, which caused him to have permanent disability due to his work injury, he can apply this benefit after the completion payment of temporary disablement or after the medical improvement are reached its maximum level. The rate for this benefit is 90% of Encik Fairuz' average assumed daily wage, which is subjected to a minimum of 30 ringgit per day and maximum of 118.50 cents per day.
Mr. Fairuz was so lucky because under the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991, he entitled to apply for partial withdrawal under HELP. Under partial withdrawal, the EPF allow members who are having medical problems to make a withdrawal from their account to cover the medical expenses for approved illness and healthcare equipment. Since Mr. Fairuz loss of independence existence in which he cannot perform efficiently when doing his jobs. Moreover, due to the incidents, he also suffered mental health such as traumatized and scared when dealing with the machines. There are 6 conditions that need to be fulfilled, such as Malaysians or non-Malaysians below 55 years old, have saving in account to, medical costs are not fully covered by employer, illness or medical aid equipment are approved by the EPF and not receiving alternative treatments. Based on this case, he managed to fulfill most of the conditions stated. Next, Fairuz also can apply for a full withdrawal under incapacitate. Incapacitation withdrawal enables him to withdraw all of his EPF savings as his condition deprive him ability to work. The conditions that need to be fulfilled are Malaysian or non-Malaysian, below 16 years old, have saving with the EPF, unemployed, certified physical or mentally incapacitated by medical practitioner, and lastly must be assessed by the EPF medical board. In addition, if he become the members of the EPF and meet the requirements, EPF will award them with RM 5,000 as an EPF discretion to less their burden.
Based on Employee Social Security Act 1969, under Section 15/F, require employer to provide adequate medical treatment, rehabilitation and training to facilitate recovery and reintegration into the workplace. For under Section 37/1, mandates the employer to reinstate employees who have been absent from work due to a workplace injury or disability to the same position they held before the accident or to an alternative position suitable for their condition. The Employee Social Security Act of 1969 outlined the duties of the employer when an accident occurs at the workplace. In such case, the employer is required to first, report the accident. The employer must promptly report the accident to the nearest Social Security Organization office. Second, complete and submit forms. The employer needs to complete the necessary accident report forms and submit them to the SOCSO. These forms typically include details about the accidents, the injured employee, and the employer. Third, provide the medical treatment. Ensure that the injured employee receive necessary medical treatment immediately and cover the cost of the medical expenses. 4. Submit medical certificates. Submit medical certificates related to the employer injury or illness to the SOCSO. Next, cooperate with investigations. Cooperate fully with any investigation conducted by SOCSO regarding to the accidents. Lastly, compensations. If the employee is entitled to compensations, the employer is responsible for making the necessary contributions and ensuring that the employer receives the appropriate benefits. It's important for employers to comply with these duties to ensure the well-being of their employees and adhere to the regulations set forth in the Employee Social Security Act of 1969.
Employment Act 1955, usually known as the EA, is a law that describes the rights and obligations of the employees and employers under the law. This is where it is one of the key employment laws in Malaysia, and it's meant to protect workers legally and control the term and circumstances of employment for particular groups of workers. Since its first enactment in 1955, the Act has undergone numerous amendments to reflect changing employment practices and labour market truth. According to the Malaysian Employment Act 1955, there are two examples of rights and protection given to an employee according to leave, which are annual leave and sick leave. Employees covered by the Act are entitled to leave every year based on annual leave. Depending on how long they have worked there, an employee may be entitled to a different amount of days. First, if an employee has worked for the same company for less than 2 years, he is entitled to paid annual leave equal to 8 days for every 12 months of continuous service. If he has worked for the same company for more than 2 years, he is entitled to paid annual leave equal to 12 days for every 12 months of service. And if he has worked for the company for more than 5 years, he is entitled to paid annual leave equal to 16 days for every 12 months of service. Next is sick leave. Employees who are sick or injured are entitled to paid sick leave under the Act. Depending on the length of employment, sick leave might have different durations and apply under different conditions. Workers will receive a 60-day annual hospitalization leave in addition to their 14, 18 or 22-day sick leave entitlement based on their total number of years of service. This is where sick leave is allocated based on employee service years: 14 days for less than 2 years, 18 days for 2 years to 5 years, 22 days for 5 years and more, and a total of 60 days for hospitalization leave with paid sick leave regardless of service.
The action that will be taken against the employer in Fairuz case is to review the policy at workplace. Fairuz was supposed to review the company's policy and procedures on workplace injuries, accommodations, and transfer of department. Hereby, Fairuz must ensure that the demand in the line with existing policies so that the safety and health of employees is more secure and safety. In addition, to report the relevant authorities such as the Department of Labour. This department falls under the Minister of Human Resources and is responsible for implementing and enforcing labour laws, regulations and policies related to employment conditions, occupational safety and health, and industrial relations. It is a penultimate option if the employer still refuses to accommodate Fairuz request to change to another department. This is because it has violated the right of injured workers in the workplace and caused Fairuz to resign. The last option that Fairuz can make is legal action should be taken against the employer. Fairuz may seek legal advice and consider taking legal action against the employers if Fairuz can show evidence or refusal to change department is illegal or in violation of employment law. This means that Fairuz submit to the agency responsible for his employer to take legal action so that he is better protected after suffering an injury that causes permanent disability.
A thousand times I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots, but my home was never